I should have checked in with you.
No, it's okay.
That's my fault. Yes, for sure. That's me. Thank you.
Mayor.
Oh, is she? Well, maybe just wait a second.
You what? That was great. That was great.
You climb trees too? No, I bet you will someday.
Hey, Riley. Yeah, go to daddy.
Hello there.
Good evening and welcome to the City of Boynton Beach City Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, and the time is 6:04 p.m. We will now turn to the city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Shelton.
Present.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Present.
Commissioner Cruz.
Here.
Commissioner Turkin.
Present.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Maylee. Pastor Hudson will lead our invocation tonight from Christ Fellowship Church. Then Commissioner Turkin will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's all stand for the invocation and pledge.
Thank you. It's an honor. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you humbled that you give us life and breath to even be in this place. We simply come before you and ask that your presence would fill this place, that you would bring a peace about this council and those who are presenting tonight, that their words would be clear and their hearts would be full, but you would guide their steps, that what comes out of this meeting tonight would be a reflection of your hope for this community and the hope that this can bring to this region. We are honored to get to participate in this meeting tonight. We give it to you in your holy and awesome name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We are now moving on to the agenda approval, additions, deletions, and corrections. Let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin, if you have any.
I just want to add for a future agenda item, a discussion about like a legislative break or maybe consolidating a meeting in December for the holidays. That way staff can spend some time with their families.
Thank you. Commissioner Kelly?
No, Mayor, I'm good, thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay?
No.
And Commissioner Cruz?
Nothing for me as well, thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we have a motion to.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We will now move on to informational items by the member of the city commissioner. Let's begin on my right with Commissioner Cruz.
Not for me.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yeah, I would like to say that attended the FRA in West Palm, and we had quite a bit of good information that I will be discussing with staff at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Kelly?
No, I do not have any. Thank you, Mayor.
And Commissioner Turkin?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things for staff. I guess I got a couple emails about some construction over here on Ocean Avenue that's being conducted allegedly prior to 5 a.m. I'm hearing 3 a.m. I did reach out to Manny, the principal of Edgewater, so I think he's going to follow up with you guys. He's going to reach out to the contractor. And then also I did receive some emails regarding Hurricane Alley with some parking usage issues there. I don't know if staff's followed up on that. If not, is it possible to follow up on that? Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to announcements. The Charter Review Committee Chair will present the final report and its recommendations. So, Mr. Taylor, come on down. Should I say former Mayor Taylor?
Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Commissioners. I want to thank the Mayor for appointing me to the committee. Thank you. I want to thank the city attorney for her advice and counsel for all our meetings. It was very beneficial. Yeah, that'll good. That's good. Especially the parts where she informed us what we could and could not include in a charter. That was very informative. I'd like to just quickly introduce the other committee members. Our Vice Chair, David Katz, if you'd please stand up so the audience can see you. Reverend Richard Dames is not here. He had a big meeting in Utah and could not get back for it, but he was at our meetings. Dr. Phyllis Pacelli, is that Pacelli or? Pacelli, very good. And Angela Trajanowski. And I just want to thank my committee. I can't tell you, they couldn't have been more professional. And they did their homework. They brought up so many different issues that we discussed, and they were very professional about listening to each other committee members and taking their advice and telling why they did or did not agree with it. So that was a really good committee that you all put together, and I appreciate that. If there's not that, I'll go ahead and we'll do and review the charter review. Introduction and, the committee was charged with reviewing this existing city charter, considering proposed amendments prepared by the city attorney's office, and recommending any additional modifications necessary to improve the charter's daily function and responsiveness to the public interest. The first one was establish foundational principles, establish a preamble. And we don't have a preamble right now for our charter, but several of them did the homework about other cities do have a preamble. So we agreed to make that one of our proposals. And what our preamble, do you want to read it? If you don't have it, I have it.
No, it is on a slide up there, one of the slides.
Okay. All right,
So-
well, we'll show it. And we say,
This
okay,
is
I'll give
just
you the.
outlining the things that we did, and then we'll go through them
Okay.
individually.
All right. We discussed probably 15 to 18 different things about the charter. And then we found out that they're kind of concerned about how many you want to put on a ballot. So we said, let's get down to the top 5, the most important 5 that we think maybe you want to look at as far as putting into the charter this time. So the first one was a preamble. The second was candidate qualifications. The third one was term length and limits for commissioners. And then the form of government, and then language modernization. So we'll cover the first one, which was a preamble.
And the preamble is up there.
It's up there. Did you want me to read it?
Yes.
Huh? Okay. The citizens of the city of Boynton Beach, in order to protect the general health, welfare, and safety of its residents, promote honest, efficient, and responsive government, hereby adopt and revise a city charter in accordance with the contribution and Constitution and statutes of the state of Florida. This is basically just to set a base, a foundation for what our charter is going to talk about. That was the first one. The second one we had was that the candidates must reside in the city for 1 year prior to filing. And that's at least 1 year probably before filing for office. So we don't want somebody that's maybe living up in West Palm and say, oh, there's an opening down there in Boynton. I think I'll run down and put in my name. You have to live here in Boynton for a year, and it's a continuous residence. And we say that it's very important that we want, the change here is that we added the word continuous, because we don't want somebody to come here and say 3 months and say, oh, but I got another 8 months up in New Jersey where I live, but I'll serve here for 3 months. We want you to live here continuous so you know what's going on in this city if you're going to serve on this commission. That was the point of that one. The third amendment was, we discussed the terms of office for the commissioners and the mayor, and it was felt that we'd like to move it from 3 years to 4-year terms, thinking that we'd have, having served on there, I can tell you, each commissioner probably comes in with some issues they'd like to get done. And it's very difficult, I can tell you, because government moves so slowly, it's hard to make a significant change in just a 3-year period. So it's, we think that it would save the city money if it was just every other 4 years instead of 3 years. So we're recommending that you make that change. The next one was residency and age requirements. This one we really got into a big discussion about, because there was some commissioners felt that, well, maybe 21 years was too young to be a commissioner because of what it requires to knowledge about how a city runs. And one commissioner specifically talked about some studies that were done that the mind is not mature until like 25 or older. And that was the point of saying, well, you ought to be older before you run. I personally didn't agree with that. I can tell you that I was married when I was 21 and raising a family, and I pretty much understood what you needed to do with a budget. And Boynton, we've always had 21. I don't know any other time when it was a higher age. I think it's always been 21. And so I go by the old say, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. That's where I come in. And but there is I know our vice mayor was very strong about raising the age, and we had one member of the public that attended every meeting, and she did agree with him on that, but the rest of us didn't, and so it was a 4-to-1 vote that we keep it at 21 years of age to run for a seat. So that's where you're on that one. Then on the fourth one, Oh, the model of government, we just wanted to make it very plain that the government in Boynton is a city manager and a commission. And that's the way we think it should stay, and so we made that specific language to make sure that that's understood, okay? And also that it takes superior vote, in other words, 4 out of 5, to hire or fire the manager or the city attorney. Then on Amendment 5 was just a kind of a catch-all about language, because I noticed that in our charter, if it talked about anything to do with the city attorney, said he this or he that, or say it could be the city manager, he this, he that, we thought it should be he or she, or some term that includes both, they, them, whatever. So they're going to clean up that language and also look at other little, throughout the charter, bring up to date some of the language in there where just like little verbs or adverbs that should need to be changed. And that's all that is. Do I have any questions?
Not have any questions? Does anyone?
No, I guess, do we want to schedule a time to discuss all these?
So for these to be ready on time to possibly go to a referendum, they need to be passed first and second reading at our November meetings. So our plan was then to bring them before you, the actual proposed ordinance for consideration at the first meeting in November. And there you will get to see the entire ordinance and the changes. If you do want to start looking ahead of time, if you go back and look, there is a whole Charter Review Committee report that was, I believe, emailed to everyone, but it's also attached to the backup here in this item, and if you need it, certainly I can email it again.
Perfect. No, outside of that, thank you, Jerry, David,
No, we've been,
Angela, Phyllis. Thank you guys.
We were appointed for 2 years, just to let you know, so we already have a meeting set up for a year from now to
Great.
consider some of the other ones if you still want us as the committee. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
just want to thank you guys all for stepping up to the plate and taking ownership of this opportunity. It's big changes, right? Things progress, time changes, things change, people change. And I just want to thank you guys again. I'll leave my opinions as far as the content to that first November meeting. Thank you.
Me too.
And thank you, Shauna, and your legal team for working and staying late. But good. I know there's a lot of
David,
extra
since
work.
you were on the charter review, I see that you might want to have a comment about something
Thank you.
to do with this.
As vice chair, I also want to thank the legal staff who helped us out. Serving with the members, we had a lot of spirited discussions. There were 2 items that Jerry mentioned that I was, or I would call the loyal opposition on, which I'd like to further discuss with you and give you my thoughts and something for you to ruminate over. About the age, again, I felt it should be 25 because of that. I understand that he was married at 21, but in reality, it wasn't a $400 million budget that he was dealing with. And that was my concern, having somebody more mature. I understand that at the state level, it's 21 years of age. At the U.S. Congress, it's 25 and 30. It's not an absurd legal jump to make it to 25. I don't think the residents, if they voted on it during a ballot charter amendment, I don't think they would turn it down because of that. And that's, again, up to you guys. The other thing was, there was spirited discussion of which I was I'll call myself the loyal opposition on, about having 2-year residency instead of 1 year. The city attorney pointed out that it may not pass, I'll use the phrase constitutional muster, yet Doral and Fort Pierce already have 2-year continuous residency. There's a lot that would have to happen for somebody to challenge. First of all, they'd have to challenge the 2 years. They'd have to go in front of a court, have to pass legal muster, might even be brought in Fort Pierce and Doral, who've had it for quite a while. I think you were from Doral. Maybe, I don't know if they would join a lawsuit to defend it or sign an amicus brief to defend it, but a lot of steps would have to happen. And let's say hypothetically the 2 years were struck, the charter amendment that we would pass hypothetically of 2 years were passed. And then the courts ruled that no, that's shouldn't be that way. So 2 things would happen. One is that now that part of the charter would be gone. And then what the commission would have to do to remedy that, and this is from the city attorney, would pass two ordinances going back to the 1-year continuous residency, so it wouldn't create a void. But I think it's worth going to the 2 years. I think 1 year is just not enough to know what's going on in this city. So again, this is up to you guys, but that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just, really quick, Mayor, I just wanted to, kind of ditto everyone's sentiments on thanking you guys. I've spoken to a couple of members, and, like Mayor Taylor said, everyone was really, pleasant and worked together. And so, as you see when we're on the commission, we don't always have to agree, but we're respectful, and so I appreciate that you guys can come together and have differences and have conversations that really are for the betterment of the city, which is what we all strive for. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys, and I'm looking forward to to going through and talking more about these items at our next meeting. So thank you guys for doing this and for taking the time out of your day and your families to help us with this. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
You're absolutely welcome, and thank you for giving us this opportunity.
You want to go first?
Yeah, so I think it's important to just add one note of context as you form your opinions, because I originally was of the opinion that we should raise the age to 25, because we left that and then had a week to really do the research. So there is only one city in the entire United States that has that as an age requirement. And the Florida House of Legislature is 21, and they are managing billions of dollars. And a couple of years ago, when we changed the charter the last time, 12 years ago, we had a problem in Boynton with representative government, where the entire city was voting on the commission seats. And so the charter was changed to support representative government. And I want to wave my American flag here and remind us that that is what our country is founded on. And that's something that I want to continue to practice here in Boynton. If we raise the age from 21 to 25, we are telling people who are renting, who are out there buying houses, who are out there participating within our city, using our services, paying taxes, that they are not going to be represented. They cannot be represented here in Boynton. So I want to urge you to think about that when you're thinking about the age, because if we do raise that, we are signaling that we are a city that doesn't favor the young, that we do not want anyone here from 21 to 25 to run for office. And again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We haven't had this problem. And from a fiduciary responsibility, I could give you a long list of public servants who have not met their fiduciary responsibility, and they are over the age of 25. So I will put that out there, and that for you guys to ruminate over for the next couple weeks.
And I just want to add that I'm not going to say everything that Angela has just said, but I agree with it. I also, when you have $1 billion budget versus our budget, and you have people that are 21 that can go to the state legislature, you really need to consider that. You also really need to consider that you have voters that you will alienate, that they can go at 18 and serve our country.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Public comment. Go ahead.
I too would like to thank the committee for a job well done. I do agree with what has been stated as far as the 21, and I agree with that being the age, because like Jerry was stating, at 21 I got married, and I understood a lot about budget and responsibility at that time. I do feel if our young people can serve in our armed services, they certainly can be represented here. I do believe in having representation, no taxation without representation. So I just feel that 21 is fine. I do feel that 4-year is a good change, because I know when I came on board way back in 2007, I was at the first year I was wondering which end was up. What had I done? So by the time you get around to your second year, you're beginning to pick up some things, and by the third year, you got to run again. So I think it's a good move that we go to a 4-year term. And again, when we bring in youth, we bring in new idea and new blood. And I think in this case, it would be to our advantage. Do I believe that in every situation? No, but I don't see a problem serving on this board at the age of 21. So I just want to thank all of you for your time and your service that you have given to this and your thoughts.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do want to take a moment to thank the Charter Review Committee for volunteering your time very selflessly to serve the city in such an important capacity, and also to our legal team for being there. I heard very positive reviews from the Charter Committee about legal, so I do want to thank you for that. And that's all for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we will have the city events announcement. Can city staff come up to the podium to announce their events?
Hello and good evening, everybody. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, staff, and members of the public. Before I get into my announcement about Pirate Fest, I just wanted to introduce our new Special Events Division Director. Her name is Amanda Onda. She's standing to my right here. She comes to us with over 20 years of event experience, from large scale to small scale, everything in between. She's very excited to get started. We're super excited to have her, and we are very confident in her abilities and what the future she'll bring to the city here and all of our events. So, yeah.
Everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so 1 second. Let me just pull up my notes. Okay, Pirate Fest. So Pirate Fest is sailing into Boynton Beach this weekend. The event runs Saturday from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Guests can look forward to a weekend full of fun with tons of free activities and an event-wide treasure hunt. We'll have live entertainment all day long, across 5 stages, a packed food court with amazing variety, including many Boynton-based favorites, and over 60 market vendors selling everything from handcrafted goods to pirate-themed treasures. It's going to be an incredible weekend full of energy, community spirit, and adventure set for all ages. So, very excited and hope to see you all there.
Thank
We'll
you.
be there.
Good.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Even dress my
You're
dog
welcome.
up like a pirate. She will be there
Perfect.
too. We are now moving on to the public audience portion of the meeting. As always, it is 3 minutes per person and non-transferable. Same rules will always apply. The speaker must address the commission as a whole, not to any individual on the dais or in the audience. Insults, personal attacks, and disruptions are not permitted, and you may be asked to leave the meeting should you violate these rules. After we have concluded in-person comments, we will move on to online comments. So if you would like to speak, please come on to the podium and step on up, and you can go to each podium to keep things moving along. Hello, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mike McCray. Tonight I come before you all with sad emotions. We have a facility here in Boynton named Isa Hester Community Center. Mr. Hester was an educator here in Boynton, commissioner, and he served as the mayor of this city. On this weekend, his wife, Mrs. Carol Pearl Hester, she passed. Mrs. Hester was a secretary at Point Santa Elementary School when I was at Point Santa Elementary School, so it goes way back. Also, she served throughout Palm Beach County. She was also a member of St. John Missionary Baptist Church. Tonight, I ask that you all remember this family when you bow to pray. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Last night, I attended a planning workshop dealing with looking at 10 and 20 years down the road. And the city paid a consultant for what should have been done by city staff. We have very talented planners in this city.
Excuse me, can you say your name, please?
Mark Carroll George. And we have very talented planners on our staff. everything that the consultant stated as reference points and that type of thing, our staff has access to the same data. It was a waste of money and time. And from a fiduciary standpoint, it upset me that the city had wasted its time and money when it could have been done in-house and gotten the exact same results.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, Angela Troyanowski, Boynton Beach. So I want to start again by thanking you all for listening to our public comment. I appreciate everything that you all do. I want to bring up a topic separate from the charter review. We have been talking recently in the city about the water within Boynton Beach, and I want to just express my resolve as a citizen to see that our water is reliably safe and clean. As a resident in East Boynton Beach, I see the water change quite frequently. I also see that the Palm Beach County is hosting a panel on fluoride in the water, and I want to just pose the question to see if that's something that we are already doing or something we'll consider doing as well. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Cindy Falco di Corrado. I'm a little bit perplexed in reason why you would think it was wise for a 21-year-old to run for office when we have people that run for office that don't even own homes in our community, like the last candidate. He lived at his mother's home, came from Washington, and ran. I think that if you don't have any stake in the city, and if you can't afford a home or you're not buying a home and live here without renting, then you shouldn't be able to run until you're at least 25. I don't know if you've looked at 21-year-olds today. They're like 16-year-olds back when I was growing up. So it's not the same day and age. We're not talking about the same mentality. We're not talking about the same kind of men or women that we were when we were younger. When I was younger, I was very mature at 18. I look at 18-year-olds today. They might as well be in diapers. I'm not trying to make a mockery, but it's the fact, because they don't educate the kids in the schools enough, and the children are not wise enough to go and get studious. So to handle kinds of funds of money and to run for a seat, to be a spokesperson on my life when they're green and they don't understand, they don't even own a home, they're not paying taxes, why would we give them that leadway? So I think that what Dave suggested was the wisest, 25 and older. It doesn't stop young people. 25 is still young. I have a 27-year-old grandson, and I tell you right now, I would not want him sitting on the dais doing this, okay? I'm just being real, okay? Also about the 4 years, listen, we have to deal with what goes on up here with you guys as our representatives. 4 years is too long, especially when we have people like last candidate who sat as mayor. I would have been horrified if he ran for 4 years. We should not do 4 years. We went up from 2 years, which I think was, I understand you can't get things done. That's why we want people to come in that will follow through. Because if we had 4 more years, or 4 years with what we had last time as a mayor, this city would be just, the damage that was done was already irate. So I need to think about those. Oh, okay. Then I'm going to get off that bandwagon, and I really like to be in that meeting, and I didn't know that you had one. I'm also campaigning for grandparents' rights. I don't know if you know that, but in Florida, there are no grandparents' rights. And I did put in to Lori Berman and to Mac Bernard in regards to having grandparents' rights. Children thrive when they are raised in a safe, stable, and nurturing family environments. Grandparents often provide essential care, support, and continuity when parents are unable to do so. Preserving family and connections reduces reliance on foster care, protects children from unnecessary trauma, and strengthens communities. I don't know why this has never been established, but I, as a grandparent, my grandson's 27 years old, so I am past that, but I am going to be an advocate for other grandparents. I know too many grandparents that are not being able to see their children because of their own issues. I do have some petitions to sign. If anybody would like to sign it, I would greatly appreciate it. I will be sending them to Lori Berman and to Mac Bernard. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please, sir.
My name is Joe Vecchia. 21, I was married 3 years, had 2 children, but by the time I was 25, I realized what was causing it. So we went out and bought a TV. Thank God for Johnny Carson. You know what I mean? We didn't have 4, 5, and 6, all right? I'm just saying. So there's a little difference between 21 and 21. Oh, thank God when people laugh. I happen to be president. I happen to be president of Quail Run Villa Association, and I wanted to just bring today a couple things. I sent some pictures of some of the businesses that back up to our lake. And not a rich community, and so for the $40,000 or $50,000 a year it costs us to maintain a lake for the standards of a Palm Beach Water Management District, with the aeration and cleaning it, and the lake doctor goes in and puts chemicals in, and we stock the lake. And so it's important that all the businesses on the east side, that we live in a city in a state that has an east prevailing wind. So everything that happens in those businesses ends up in our lake, and we end up cleaning. It's only been a 35-year or so problem. So we just wanted to ask if there was something that could be done, and I know Angela's been extremely helpful. And I don't know if she distributed the pictures of some of the stuff that goes on behind there, but hopefully she will, and we'll have that. So you guys can just look at it. The other thing is, we talk with Shrek, and you guys know who Shrek is? Your police department is unbelievable. These guys are great. They're responsive to us anytime. They're professional. I know they keep saying they need more training, and they probably do. Who doesn't? Okay, that's not the point. The point is that they're doing a great job, and we appreciate them so much. We don't have guard gates, as a lot of communities do, and so it's important to us that 26th Street that runs through and you can't even imagine, but over 1,000 cars a day are on that street, and some of them exceed the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit a lot. So those two things, I appreciate everything the city's doing. We appreciate your help in controlling 26th Street, perhaps a little bit more with something. We're going to have a fishing tournament, I think, in January or February with the police department. So everybody's welcome to come hang out at the pool, have a hamburger, go fishing. And thank you for everything you do. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to give public comment?
Excuse me, the guy just said, Jesus Christ.
Do you want to give a public comment?
Yeah.
Okay,
but
you're on the clock,
You didn't want to
sir.
let me out of my chair.
Go ahead.
Time has started.
Ooh.
Okay, time started, sir.
Okay, hi. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Ernest McNolly, I live at 710 Northeast 7th Street, Harbor Hall Inlet. Purchased in November of 2020. And I'm not a snowbird, live here full-time, taxpayer, homeowner, resident, et cetera. I'd like to say a lot of comments that I hear, I don't know of any facts to back anything up. I mean, I don't know how people make all these comments, and yet the records are not available to us. In other words, we request city cams or city cameras or city records, or we're denied everything. And then once in a while you mention, oh, I got an email. I send about 100 emails a day. I don't get one answer. Although, from the last one I sent, I got an answer from someone heavily involved with the city, and it made some pretty damaging comments, including some sexual comments about body parts. And I said to myself, how does this happen? Right? And then if you try and report it, it's funny, isn't it, Turkin? Everything's funny to you. Yeah, I know, everything's funny to you. You know, this is a real humorous group, I gotta tell you. So the point is, you know, everybody, look, at age 18, okay, I tried my best to get into the military. I had severe physical handicaps. They wouldn't take me no matter what. I tried at 3 boards and they all turned me down. So that's beside the point. But people I went to school with, men and women, got in and went to Vietnam and died and were mutilated. And a lot of us never got over that. So to say that an 18-year-old is not able to do anything, or a 21-year-old, I don't know where that comes from. And I think it's highly disrespectful. And it has nothing to do with a house. People don't have houses because of the way everything's being run. That's why. It's nothing that they did wrong. Can I get an extra 20 minutes?
No, sir. No, sir.
No?
No,
Why
You
not?
got 29 seconds to go.
What?
You got 25 seconds.
That's all I have?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, can I ask why nobody returns my emails? I don't know of, I never heard of a town with a mayor and commissioners, police chiefs, city manager, everything, that don't return emails. How's that happen? And then you turn around and, I don't want to say threaten, but, I don't feel too safe around here. And then I'm told, if you call for help, we're going to lock you up.
Thank you, sir.
Really, good luck.
Thank you. Is there any comments online? Anyone that would like to speak online?
No, Mayor, there is nobody
Thank
online.
you.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Mayor, if I may, just to
Sure.
address some public, I just want to remind everyone, especially members of the public, that these decisions regarding the charter committee will ultimately be decided by you, the voters. That is not something that this body is ultimately going to decide. We will decide if it gets on the ballot, and then ultimately the most purest form of democracy, allowing the people to make those decisions, is how we're going to execute any changes to our city charter.
Thank you.
Good point. Thank you.
So we are moving on to community support funds. We have 3 community support funds from Commissioner Cruz, $1,000 to Young in Faith, $500 to Young Men of Distinction, and $500 for the Tree for Life. We also have 1 request from Commissioner Kelly for $675 to the Boynton Beach Bulldog Cheerleaders. May we have a motion to approve the community support funds?
Second.
Commissioner Turkin moved to approve, and Commissioner Cruz made the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to our consent agenda. If any of my colleagues would like to pull any items from consent, let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin.
No.
Commissioner
Mayor.
Kelly,
No, thank you.
Commissioner Cruz,
No.
and Vice Mayor Hay.
No.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We will now move on to consent bids and purchases. If my colleagues would like to pull any items, let's begin with Commissioner Cruz.
None for me, thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay.
No.
Commissioner Kelly.
As much as it pains me, I need to pull 7B, please.
7B.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Turkin.
Nope, but I'll make a motion to approve the remainder of consent.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the remainder of consent, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Kelly, would you like to begin since you pulled 7B?
Thank you, Mayor. It's such a big item that Andrew, I would just like staff to kind of go over, make sure this isn't anything that is not in our normal course of business, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Anna Lee Holmes, Deputy Director of Public Works. This item is to approve the purchase of the vehicles that were approved in our budget in September. It's approving the contracts that we'll be using to purchase those vehicles. And all of these contracts were already competitively bid. So essentially, we're piggybacking off of the contracts.
No, I do not.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Motion to approve?
Second?
We have a motion to approve 7B. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Well, he's not here.
4-0.
So 4-0. We have 5 public hearing items. 8A, B, C, and D will be heard together, but there will be public comment permitted on each item. Items 8B through 8E are quasi judicial, and I will now turn to the clerk to swear in anyone who would choose to speak on these items.
Anyone who is here to speak on items 8B through 8E, please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth? Thank you. You may have a seat.
If each commissioner can please make any disclosures at this time regarding items 8B, C, D, and E.
Who do you want to start?
Start,
As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions other than staff. I did receive one email from an attorney. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Just for clarification, on which item did you receive the
Oh,
email?
geez.
Was
The
it cure leave?
annexation that we talked about.
Annexation cure leave. Okay.
Vice Mayor Hay?
I have not had ex parte communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted an investigation. I've not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinion. I request that these disclosures and all written communication be part of the record.
Thank you, I have it here. And Commissioner Kelly?
Thank you, Mayor. As to items 8B, C, and D, right, those were the items? Yep. I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you. Regarding items 8B, C, D, and E, I have not had any ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be part of the record. And we are just going to keep on moving.
Yeah, I guess when he returns, he can
We can
do
start the
his- yeah.
presentation and then we can
Okay.
do his disclosures.
I will turn to the clerk to read 8A through D into the record.
Okay. 8A is proposed ordinance number 25-022, second reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, voluntarily annexing approximately 0.36 acres of unincorporated territory located at 3604 Boynton Beach Boulevard into the corporate limits of the city pursuant to Section 171.044 Florida statutes, providing for annexation of the property described herein, providing for publication of notice of the proposed annexation, directing the city clerk to record this ordinance with the clerk of the court, with the chief administrative officer of Palm Beach County, and with the Department of State, providing a business impact estimate, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and effective date. Proposed ordinance number 25-032, second reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 89-38 by amending the future land use map of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, for an approximately 0.36 acre parcel of real property located at 3604 Boynton Beach Boulevard by changing the future land use classification from Palm Beach County's commercial high with an underlying MR8 to City of Boynton Beach's local retail commercial, declaring the proposed amendment to the future land use map to be consistent with all other elements of the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. C is proposed ordinance number 25-033, second reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, in association with Curaleaf Florida LLC annexation, amending ordinance number 02-013 to rezone approximately 0.36 acres of unincorporated territory located at 3604 Boynton Beach Boulevard from Palm Beach County's Commercial High Office to City of Boynton Beach's Community Commercial District, declaring the proposed amendment to be consistent with the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. And D is a variance, approval of variance request from Part 3, Chapter 3, Article 3, Section 1.c, and Part 3, Chapter 3, Article 3, Section 3C3, to grant a reduction of a rear yard setback of 9.1 feet where 20 feet is required.
Thank you. And Commissioner Turkin, can you?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions regarding 8B, C, D, and E. I request that these disclosures and all written communications may be made part of the record.
Thank you. This is a second reading. Are there any changes to items 8A through C? And is there a presentation for 8D? Hi there.
Hi, good evening. My name is Barbara Hall. I'm an attorney with Greenberg Traurig. No, there are no changes to the items that were heard 2 weeks ago, and there is a quick presentation of the variance, and I think I need the clicker. So I'm going to just zip through the previous ones that didn't change and discuss the variance. This is not a variance to do something new. This is a variance for the existing condition. This building has been in this location for 50 years. So it meets all your criteria. There are special circumstances. We did not create this. It was built at the time it was lawful, but to bring it into the city, we'll need this variance. Doesn't grant a special privilege. It is the minimum necessary because it's the existing condition, and it's in harmony with the code intent, which recognizes that when there are facilities like canals that separate properties from properties to the rear, allowing a lesser setback is appropriate. And so that's the existing condition, and we ask that you approve it to bring it into the city.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the commission? Public comment is permitted at this time. If anyone would like to speak at public comment, please come down.
No, we're going to allow public comment separately on 8B, C,
Okay, so this
and D.
is just on 8A.
Correct.
Got it.
Cindy Falco, Di Corrado. Exactly, I'm trying to pinpoint, where is that actually located, and what is the building that's there now? Because it looks like it's east of I-95? West of I-95. Okay, thank you, because I live around the corner. I'm just concerned what's going on in my community. Thank you.
If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve, proposed ordinance number 25-022 on the second reading?
So move.
Second.
Vice Mayor Hay moved to approve ordinance number 25-022. Commissioner Kelly gave the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Sorry.
It's roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Yes. Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Okay, so then we're going to open up public comment for item 8B. Anyone would like to discuss 8B? No further questions from the commission?
And there's nobody online, Mayor, just to confirm
Okay.
for the record.
None? Okay. If there's
Motion
not,
to approve 8B?
we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 8B, and we have a second. All those in favor, roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed 4-1 with Commissioner Turkin dissenting.
We are now moving on to items 8C. Do we have any questions from the commission before we ask for public comment? If there's nothing else, do we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25-033?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Hay and a second from Commissioner Kelly. All those in favor say aye. Oh, no, roll call. God, when am I going to get it right? When am I going to get that right?
Year
You're
two.
consistent.
Year two, don't worry. You're
Commissioner
good.
Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed 4-1 with Commissioner Turkin dissenting.
Okay, now we are moving on to 8D. Are there any questions from the commission before we open up for public comment? If nothing else, do we have a motion to approve the variance on 8D?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve it for the variance, and we have a second. I'll turn to, this is a roll call, or do we
You can vote on this,
Okay.
the motion.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 4-1. I'll turn to the clerk to read 8E into the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
8E is to approve the development order for conditional use for American Countertops and Design LLC to be located at 1900 Corporate Drive in the planned industrial development zoning district.
Is there a presentation for 8E? Hello, sir.
Good evening, and thanks for having me here to give this quick
Please state your name.
presentation. My name is Renato Cruz, and I am presenting the project for American. Oh. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thanks again, and I try to be as quick as possible and give you the main idea about this project. So the business name is American Countertops and Design, and it's located at 2114 and 2116 Corporate Drive. It's a countertop fabrication shop and retail showroom. It has indoor operation and storage. The main focus of the business is to serve homeowners, designers, and contractors in Boynton Beach and Palm Beach County. And the project consists in 8 employees and some contract. The purpose of this request is to obtain the conditional use approval for fabrication activities at that location, and also ensure that the company is fully complied with Boynton Beach zoning regulations. The site is located, as we can see, close to Albright Road and I-95. The location was mentioned, 2114 and 16 Corporate Drive, and there is a lot of industrial operations with commercial surroundings. Here we have a couple pictures of the structures that we built at that place. It has an indoor fabrication and cutting area. It has a recycled water system that consists in closed loop water. The forklift operation is limited inside the building and loading areas. And the business hours operation is Monday to Friday and 8 to 5 p.m. And it consists in 8 full-time employees and about 20 subcontracts. The actions we already taken in order to avoid any environmental impact and to increase the safety of the operation is the cutting are performed with water, then eliminating dust. We have a closed loop water recycle, then minimizing the water waste. There is no additional electrical power to be supplied since we are working with efficient and new machines. We will keep the dumpsters indoors to maintain the site clean. There is no outdoor lighting there or to be installed, and the parking and loading areas are properly identified and complying with the requirements. The benefits we can highlight here are the local job creation and training opportunities. We also are looking for enhancing services and availability of products for the homeowners in this area, also for the contractors and builders. And also we are looking for contribute to the city of Boynton Beach economically, and looking also to occupy and improve existing industrial space. So here we have a short summary about the compliance of this process with the city and the zoning department. We had an application reviewed and approved by the departments required, police, planning and zoning, fire, utilities, and building departments. Also, we sent notices to owners within the 400 feet radius in that area, and sign was posted in front of the property for 13 days. So in conclusion, the American Countertops and Design business operates responsibly and compliantly with the requirements of the city, and also we are looking to support the growth and the sustainability of the city, and we are completely willing to respect the requests from the commission and get the approval for this conditional use. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the commission? Public comment is permitted at this time, with each person having 3 minutes.
Mark here, George. This is a no-brainer, folks. You have somebody that's going to be adding value to your city, creating jobs and doing things right, even environmentally right. This I urge you to approve because industrial costs less to service than residential. It's a win-win for this city. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve the development order?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cruz made a motion to approve, and Commissioner Turkin made the second. All of those in favor to approve the development order, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. I will turn to the clerk to read 8F into the record.
Proposed ordinance number 25-034, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Code of Ordinance Part 3, Land Development Regulations, Chapter 2, Land Development Process, Article 6, Impact and Selected Fees, and providing an effective date.
This is the first reading, so may we have a presentation for 8F?
Good evening, Amanda Radigan, Development Director here for the city. I have a very short presentation explaining this amendment. This is another amendment to the mobility fee, and we are implementing a phased implementation rollout of the fee. Similar, if you remember when we did the update to the park impact fee, we did a 3-year rollout. So this amendment establishes the phased implementation schedule, and it allows for a rollout over 3 years. The first year would implement a 10% discount. The second year would be, the first year would be a 15% discount, the second year a 10, and the third one a 5, with the full fee being in effect October 1, 2028. There are a few reasons why this amendment is before you. One of the things that we have found is that this would encourage some early development activity. It allows an ease of transition for a new fee. It aligns with some of the past practices that we have done here with the city with new fees, and it supports a kind of fair and transparent fee application. I'm available for any questions.
Are there any comments or questions from the commission? If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25-034. Commissioner Turkin moved to approve ordinance number 25-034, and Commissioner Kelly made a second. All those in favor, oh no, roll call. I got it.
All right.
Roll call.
You did it.
Mayor, I believe you need public comment
Oh,
on this?
anybody have a public comment on
reading.
this one? I'm going to get it right one day, ladies
Are we
and
doing
gents.
public?
There's no public comment.
Oh, no
for
public
first
comment
reading.
because it's the first reading. See, that's right. Maybe by year 4, I'm going to get it. No, I'm only in for 3. Go ahead. Roll
No,
call.
I'm only here for
Commissioner
3.
Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz? Vice
Yes.
Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the city manager's report. Dan, would you like to begin?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. So as you guys can see, we have a plethora of future agenda items. I just want to give a brief update on each of those. If you guys want any sort of in-depth, granular, or technical discussion as far as the particular item, I can bring the staff member up there and they're ready to present on it. So the first one, I think, is a pretty big item that we worked a couple of years on is the city strategic plan. I think most of you know from an informal standpoint that we've had several accomplishments and objectives and goals that we've met as far as the city's priority of a cleaner, safer city, especially when it comes to public safety and the beautification team. Gigi Suzu, our Economic Development Director, she's going to be doing a presentation for you guys on November 4th, the next commission meeting. So that's going to be forthcoming, and you guys are actually going to see the tangible accomplishments that we've had over the past 3 years. Joint joint city and CRA workshop. I know both Commissioner Turkin, Commissioner Kelly, and Mayor Shelton, you guys have been working tirelessly on the CRA side of things to bring in RMA and to get a more cohesive working relationship with the CRA. So we're going to be looking forward to that. And the B and C both go hand in hand. One's going to be November 8th. The other one's going to be January 13th. So what's... I don't have that. If it's before a commission meeting, most likely it's going to be 5. If it's
Or
a
9
work,
o'clock.
if it's a workshop,
It's 9 a.m.
it's 9 a.m.? Okay.
On Saturday, yeah.
November 8th.
So the discussion regarding, and this is D, discussion regarding creating a beautification board. We're going to be bringing that in the future for a little bit more clearer direction from the board. Item E, discussion regarding the citywide master plan to light it up. I know that's Commissioner Turkin and Vice Mayor Hay. That was an initiative of you guys, and Kevin's going to be coming and presenting an agenda item for that on November 8th as far as like actually partnering up with the CRA, and whenever RMA comes in, we can have discussions as far as funding. A lot of the CRA district, and especially our federal highway corridor, I've driven down the southern part and also the northern part. I looked, there's probably close to 12 lights out, but I think we could probably do a little bit more on the beautification and aesthetic side of that, and also changing maybe the element of the lights from what it is or either adding to. So we're moving on to F, and that's a discussion on the utility lift station upgrades for odor control. This came out of a Palm Beach Post article that was just several decades old that they did a story on, and it was a lift station over by the Burger King at 8th Street and Woolbright Road. So we're still looking at that, and we're pending some additional direction from the board, but I really don't think it's needed. I think we're actually moving forward, and we've already addressed a lot of that. So, G, discussion regards to additional area that might be available for future cemetery use. I know we did a expansion, or we're in the process of doing an expansion of Sarah Sims. I went to the town hall meeting at Carolyn Sims Center in District 2. We had a presentation done by Kevin Ramsey, our public works director. He went over the overall plots. I want to say it was an additional 12 or 1,300 plots that's being added. As far as like areas, we've looked at possibly expanding an area over by Galaxy Elementary School. And the issue that we continue running into is we have to have room for a procession. And so it's important that we get the correct location, and I don't want to act in haste. And we're definitely going to need a little bit more time as staff to kind of land in the city of Boynton Beach is extremely sparse right now. And we just want to make sure that whatever location we do choose is the correct one. So moving on is H. This is a discussion regarding combining city properties together to create senior affordable housing. I know we were waiting, there's a in lieu of housing fund that we're, and that's in relation to the Time Equities project that we're waiting on having some additional funding in that housing fund. And Adam Temple, Assistant City Manager over Development Services, if you guys want some additional insight, you can ask him one-on-one. And I want to say they're due to break ground in October 2026. So we'll be getting additional funding into that as well. So moving on to.
Can we, Dan, can we, and it's Vice Mayor Hayes' item, but maybe we can add that to the January joint meeting that we're talking about with the CRA, just to kind of actually put it on, put it on a calendar date so we can start having that discussion about, I mean, because
Added to the Saturday workshop in January?
that January one that we have that, just.
Saturday's November.
That way we can, since the November one is pretty full of what we have going on, so
Okay.
maybe add it to January, and that way we can start that discussion, because we may have some property that may, we may be able to parse out, and do a joint project or something, so.
Absolutely.
And
If
in
that's okay
relation
with Vice
to
Mayor.
that, if I could step back to G for a moment, Are we looking at anything west of I-95? Probably not. That would probably be a no.
We are looking at things west of I-95, but I'd rather not just disclose that in public right yet. I'd rather keep it to see whether or not it's even feasible. Because there's different things we have to look at as far as like some protected species that are in those areas, so. One thing I do want to mention, and I kind of want to throw it out there for discussion as far as the senior affordable housing. I know our senior center is in bad need of renovations, and probably a new one needs to be built, because not every senior we have lives in an HOA where they can go out and play bridge, have a gin, and have some fun on the weekends and things like that. Some of our seniors still live in single-family residences that don't really have a clubhouse that they can go and attend. So we have additional properties over there along that federal highway area, so it probably wouldn't be a bad idea if you do want to explore senior affordable housing to where you can combine the two, and maybe whichever developer that wants to come in and do that project, they can build a senior living facility that's going to be very unique, and it's going to be an attribute to the senior community here. It's just me
Agreed.
throwing it out there. I think there could be a P3 opportunity. Moving forward is I, and this is a discussion regarding the Code of Ordinance and flooding the communities, the item requested by Commissioner Cruz. This is pending a follow-up meeting with Commissioner Cruz and additional stakeholders. I want to say we had a meeting in 115, right?
Yeah, we had a meeting, and then I've tried to follow up and have another meeting, but the members haven't, we haven't been able to find a time that they're
Okay.
available, so.
Okay.
I did want to ask a question if this is the right time, or at the end.
No, you can ask me now.
We did have something regarding construction hours at a future agenda that had been tabled. There was research going on, so I want to make sure that that's still on the agenda for future TBD.
It's going to be added as a discussion item because it seems that there wasn't a consensus. And so we need a discussion item for more of a consensus instead of just bringing it at first reading.
Well, to reflect the record correctly, I did request for that to be created as a discussion. There was 5 out of 5 commissioners that agreed to have that discussion. We had multiple members of the community come in and talk about that. And then somehow we started looking into it on the back end, and it kind of, I understand it came back and maybe there were changes with certain opinions from our board, but we did have consensus about that in the past. We did have a tentative first reading, so because we did have consensus at one point, I would like to bring it back to future agenda to have a discussion about what we had agreed upon discussing originally. It was something that affected my district very heavily, and when we had residents come in and talk about their concerns, the entire board said that they were on board with looking at solutions. And then after the fact, now we're potentially looking. So I just want to make sure that we continue on the right track to look at the details of what was proposed so that we can determine how we would like to move forward.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. And I'm more than happy to have that discussion so I can explain the practicality of like when you do concrete pours in the morning, like that is ideal, right? And I know, there's always going to be issues, right? And I think we can address that. But I think allowing staff to have that administrative authority to do so is extremely important, because the last thing we want is delay. And then I know when this was first brought up, there was a plethora of GCs looking to organize and come out and speak against this for the practicality. And so all I ask is before the next meeting, do some research, focus on concrete pours. You could use ChatGPT if you want, and get educated and knowledge about this subject.
We're focusing on one piece.
I'm not done, please. Thank you. And so I want to finish by saying I know the intention is good, and I agree with the intention of doing whatever we can to mitigate the amount of noise that is conducted early in the morning, because we're seeing those issues now. I'm not in disagreement with that. I just think that we have to be very tactful and mindful when we're discussing this, so that way it's not looked at as, or I'm not gonna be able to pour concrete in the morning, right? And, you know, a lot of it too is traffic. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. So I just ask that everyone does a little research, meet with staff if they need to, maybe do some independent research, whether it's early in the morning, late night, during work, after work, I don't know. But I just think it's important, because the last thing I want to do is have the city send out a message to the building community that we are going to make it even more difficult to get things done, because there's already a perception of that. And I know Adam and the building team have done such a great job of eliminating the perception of permitting issues and trying to expedite things. So the last thing I want to do is again, the perception. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, and I agree with the intention. It's good and it's mindful of our residents, but I think there's a happy balance.
And we can talk about it once it comes back. Yep.
Good. Dan, continue.
Thank you, Mayor. So,
No worries.
no, you're good. So we're on item J, and that's a discussion regarding the expansion of ShotSpotter south of Boynton Beach Boulevard. This is going to be outside the CRA district, so the city's going to be picking up those costs. So anytime we look at any sort of innovative technology, we look at alternative funding methods, and what we're going to do is to expand that both into Forest Park and all the way down to the Chapel Hill area. I know we had some very sporadic shootings. One was tied to an Amazon delivery driver or something like that a couple of months ago. That was an isolated incident that we really haven't experienced. But I did sign off on that this week, and we're going to be doing that expansion within 45 days. So both Forest Park's going to get that technology along with the Chapel Hill area.
Good.
Okay, so we're going to move forward to K, and we really don't have any staff action on that. And again, that's going to be one of those items that we want to bring back and get a little bit more further direction from the city commission. L, the follow-up.
So with that, do we bring it back in the next few meetings? Do we want to, I know that one of the residents in Gulfview Harbor was having a significant issue, and so I don't know if we've.
Let me bring Amanda up.
Can we?
I'm okay to have that as a discussion item for the next meeting, if there's consensus on this body, and then meet with staff and do some research, because I'm not completely informed about this. I do remember the young woman, I think it was your constituent that came up, and I think I and maybe other members of this dais did address staff to look into this. So I want to be that, I want to follow through and take my word in doing so. So I'm okay with it, but that's up to the body.
So we're going to go at L right now. This is a follow-up report on state of Florida DOGE request. There's really no change to this. We haven't had any additional communication from now, and everything I've seen from DOGE as far as like following what all the audits they're doing, I haven't seen them really concentrate on a municipality yet. It's all been county. And I've seen the Broward County, I've seen Orange County. I want to say they went to Manatee County, also up in the Panhandle. So we haven't had any sort of communication, but as far as like, we've fulfilled every sort of request that they've had. So we're very, very transparent, even with our annual audits. And we have a company comes in and they audit everything. All the information's definitely available. I can tell you that some of the waste that I've seen, we don't have anything near that here in the city of Boynton Beach. We're not offering free hot yoga classes.
Unless the mayor's throwing a Pilates class.
Right.
That was pro bono.
Pro bono, right. For the record.
We probably needed the paramedics there that night with the reaction I was getting from you, Dan.
The paramedics just thinking about
Lying on the
going to that.
floor. One thing about the lighting too is I would like to discuss, I do get a lot of complaints, and I'm sure you do too, Commissioner Turkin, that it is very dark when we're doing the time change. So in Forest Park, we're going to talk about parking and stuff soon too, but it kind of goes hand in hand without the lighting that you don't even see the cars parked. So maybe something to put on our.
I will say, and this is kind of segueing into M, that I want to speak in, kind of piggyback on Commissioner Turkin bringing this up. For the longest time, the city didn't have a federal lobbyist. And we've since, over this last year, we brought on a federal lobbyist. We've had very, very spirited conversations and meetings with that firm, and they have brought back a plethora of funding to multiple different cities. And I can tell you that anytime that it's approved in Washington, there's no veto power as far as like when it comes to the president. So it's a little bit, it's different than when we go for state appropriations and things like that. I can tell you this last year, the city over the last decade that I can recall and all the research I've done, we haven't had any appropriations come from Tallahassee. And I saw that as a weakness in the city. We revamped the process. I can tell you both Myrna and Candace, they've really been the tip of the spear as far as like looking over those processes and making sure that we have all our ducks in a row. I've worked with Matt from Ballard Partners, and he's been such an advocate for getting our appropriations exactly where they need to be, being he's a lobbyist in Tallahassee. He knows the ins and outs of those processes. So last year, most of you know, is we got $875,000 back in state appropriations for the utility department. So I can tell you, our firm that we have up there, it's like they essentially paid for themselves for the next 20 years. We're not going to stop there, though. And I think if we can, I'm going to work with Myrna and Candace and see if there's any sort of grants as far as that we can apply for appropriations for additional lighting. Because a lot of this stuff has to do with businesses and their SEPTED studies, that anytime a new business comes into the city, we do these assessments just for a safety aspect. And I'm sure there's probably grant opportunities or appropriation opportunities available.
Mayor, just to piggyback on that, City Manager, with respect to the grant and appropriation request, there's a lot of different jurisdictions like FIND, FWC, a lot of these other individual jurisdictions or taxing districts that we can get grants for that, you know, the idea is, you know, a lot of them are environmentally focused, environmentally friendly, protects certain species, but play a much larger macro role in what the accomplishment is for that request. So I definitely want to dive into that. I think we're missing the ball on that, and I don't know. I think it's just a matter of maybe not knowing what's out there, or maybe missing the cycle of when you can request. So I just want to keep our eyes out on that, because if we get creative, we can bring even more funds back to the city. It's just about identifying how you can find a mutual benefit for what that request is and how it can have a ripple effect and whatever else it is affecting and impacting. Do we have a meeting nailed down for this?
I don't think we have a meeting nailed down. If you guys want to look at, I know we're looking at combining half the agenda on the first meeting of December, the other half of the meeting in the first half of January, as far as like what you guys have brought up. Annually, typically, we skip the latter meeting in December. And so I'm assuming that you brought that up as far as for future discussion. So if January would work, I think maybe we could.
Sessions in January.
Session starts in January, correct? That's when and I want to say the next year session is going to start in March, and they alternate between January and March. So if you want to do it earlier.
Yes.
Okay, so let me get with Candace and Myrna and see what kind of works with them. They're the subject matter experts on this, and then I'll bring back some.
When is the deadline for submitting appropriations for this session? And have we submitted any? What are we? Because that was my whole idea of having this like meeting to identify, you know, what the House is looking at, what the governor may or may not veto. The flavor changes every year. Thank you, Candace.
Hi. So, Candace, Chief of Staff. So we are looking at 4 projects right now. We're going to resubmit for the high water vehicle that FD had that we submitted for last year. We identified an initial utilities project that I think we're going to scrap. So we're working with Poonam, and I should be getting with her tomorrow on another new project idea. We're also looking at a public works project that's public safety related that I've discussed with Andrew. And we have another one that we're also discussing. So we're looking at about 4 of them that we're going to submit. Because session is earlier and we ended our budget process, at the end of September, we had our CIP come out. So we had to identify what we actually budgeted for that made sense to go ahead and submit. We're working on documentation now that we're going to go ahead and give Dan to look at, and then we can submit that to the commission so you can see the projects and the descriptions. The actual deadline is in November, but we're giving it to Matt at the end of this month because then he'll have to volley, obviously, the members to see who will support it.
Okay, that was gonna be my question, is so we haven't nailed down who we want to have sponsor or spearhead these?
I don't
If
want
not,
to.
that's fine, because I have spoken to a few legislators that are open and willing. I think we just need a nailed down discussion.
Can you go
Correct, so-
into Representative Casello's sponsors that the projects that he sponsored last year?
Yeah, we can send everything to you. The reason we couldn't do this meeting in October was because Matt actually had committee meetings. So that's why I couldn't set it up, because he would only know a week out. And so that wasn't going to give us time to set that. He didn't know if he was available or not.
Understandable. I'll get with you offline about that, Dan.
Okay.
And if we're running into a time constraint, I think it's important that obviously this is going to be a revolving thing that we're going to go into annually, every single, both on the federal side and the state side. So there's going to be valuable insight that whatever comes out of these discussions that we can use in the future. So, and that completes your update.
Thank you. Oh, you have something?
Question,
Go for it.
is there anything we can do about just replacing, do we have any leverage on just replacing the lighting that's, the bulbs are out on the streets? Like, do we have any voice?
We have a representative on streets that they will go out either in the early mornings or in the evenings, and they'll do an assessment. What we need to do is we need to shore that up, and the assessments need probably be a little bit more frequently, but we do have a Representative Amy Kemp that we work with through FP&L, and I think as long as we provide the exact locations to her, FPL has been fairly responsive, a lot better than whenever we were. I know you had lighting issues over in Forest Park that it took us 5, 6, 7 months to try to rectify it, but since Amy has came in and she's our direct representative with Boynton Beach, we haven't ran into those delays.
So when we have lights out, should we report that to Andrew or
Yes.
to Candace or
Amy directly.
Amy directly?
Amy Kemp, yeah. So either way, she'll make sure it gets taken care of.
Very responsive, always follows up. I would, Commissioner Hay, I would just directly refer those residents, or send an email yourself, or have someone send an email with Amy, and she'll be on it.
I'm sure Megan would get the information for her, and she'd be able to follow up with any concerns that your residents have. And Megan could do that as well.
There's like a little metal plaque on each pole, and they just need that number. And it's the actual lighting pole number, and they map it, and they can look it up and see exactly if it's what type of a light it is too. So it makes it easier.
Okay. Moving on. On the regular agenda, we will discuss the parking ordinance that was tabled on September 2nd commission meeting. Staff, would you like to begin?
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. We're just bringing this back for discussion to get clarity on the sidewalk, which Shauna will go over again, and then also the part where a couple of you thought that 8 hours was too short of an exception for allowing parking on the street or parking on the grass. So I just want to kind of get do you have the presentation from last time? I just shortened it to the current ordinance for 14-5, if you want me to go through it again with the options from the other cities, or just, okay, we'll just go to discussion.
I did send a memo regarding the constitutionality and potential liability of not enforcing stopping or parking over a sidewalk. And I'm sure you've all had an opportunity to read that. I would encourage the commission that we either leave which is 1B, either leave it the way it is. Do you have what we proposed for the next?
Oh, no, don't have it on the attachment.
Okay. Or the change, which kind of just makes the definition a little bit more clear, which was requested by the police department, but Adam has spoken with the chief, and I think the police department is okay with leaving 1B the way it is, but we should not remove it from our ordinance.
Correct. Agree.
So if you guys are in agreement with regard to 1B, we can leave it the way it is? Okay, so is there a consensus on that?
I do have one question.
Sure.
So we talked about this before. There were homes put in and then there were sidewalks put in. So like right on First Avenue on the south side, you have the home, you have the sidewalk, and then you have a piece of their driveway.
Correct.
They're allowed to park there because they're not blocking the sidewalk, correct?
Yeah, you can park in your
Good.
driveway apron.
But it's on the opposite side of the sidewalk.
You're talking about the apron, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the driveway
Yes,
apron.
still park there, then
If-
have that.
correct,
That
as
solves
long
a
as
lot of
they're
the
not-
problems of
Yeah.
the issues that we were getting.
Yeah, because people were getting cited for parking in the apron,
Right.
even though when they bought the house, it wasn't there, then the
Yeah.
city came in.
I'm not-
I've been very vocal and
Maybe
passionate
we
about
need
that, so I
some clarification with the police department that driveway apron parking is not the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But it's over the sidewalk, so when you have a vehicle and then one behind it, that vehicle is then in the driveway, technically over the sidewalk, but also in the apron.
Oh,
Commissioner,
No, you can't do that.
if I may provide a recommendation. I mean, the ADA accessibility code requires a 36-inch width for accessibility. So we may want to add the 36 inches in there because you could potentially have a bumper partially obstructing a sidewalk, but then your apron could be wide open, so somebody could go around that and still maintain accessibility. So it may be beneficial to clarify the 36 inches.
I have a concern with that because.
I'm too
when-
solution-oriented
When
sometimes.
someone enters in a wheelchair and an apron, you have certain grading
Right.
in your apron, which may not be ADA compliant with regard to the grading, right? So yes, potentially the person in the wheelchair could go into the apron to go around the vehicle. The problem is, yes, it's wide enough for the ADA, but is the grade appropriate? So that could potentially be a problem to your solution.
I guess my question really was not parking
Over, you're
north to
talking about
south. It
this
would
way.
be like if they're parking north, oh, sorry, they're parking, oh my God. They're
Parallel
parking
to the
north to south,
sidewalk.
in our case, facing the house, and then that apron, they're parking east to west, that would be okay. Because
Parallel
then
to
you
the
get through, yeah.
sidewalk, yeah. If your vehicle fits, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
If your vehicle fits horizontal, then yeah, it's okay for it to go,
Got it.
along, side to side, along the swale, but not across it.
Yeah, and people were doing that, and then like the argument or conversation point is like, okay, well, what if like someone's daughter or son needs to rush to the hospital? Now you gotta stop, or you need to go somewhere, right? You gotta stop, you gotta then pull the car out, and I think there is frankly dozens and dozens of other things that the code and the police department should be focused on, at least in East Boynton Beach, rather than parking on the sidewalk in the apron. I understand the ADA concern, but I just, I like the potential solution of what Adam was talking about. If that's legally sufficient, seems like maybe no, but, this is just, stuck in a rock and a hard place.
Unfortunately, if there is and I don't know if this city has ever had an ADA challenge, but the Department of Justice comes in, and when they come in, they just don't look at, are you enforcing the city sidewalks and are you ADA compliant? They don't look at that. They look at every single thing the city does to make sure it's ADA compliant. And if they find that there are any deficiencies, they enter a consent decree and require you within a certain amount of time to make those ADA changes. It's very, very expensive. So I would just encourage the commission, while I get that those phone calls are painful, having the money you would have to spend to potentially make all the changes would be a financial burden on the city.
I think
So-
it would be a good thing that we educate people too, much like we did when we changed the bulk trash day, and we had to do that a couple times.
Yep.
So that people understand that there are these variances when it could happen with graduation parties or whatever. But I do think that law enforcement and code is gonna be pretty busy seeing the 9 cars parked crisscross on the grass and blocking all sidewalks and blocking both sides of the road. And we're still dealing with that on 9th, 10th, my street on at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning, all the way towards 95, you can't get through. So when we have an incident where fire and police can't get through and we're in trouble for that, I'd like to just make sure we're educating people properly. But they're going to be pretty big on the fines. They're going to be pretty big writing citations and stuff for a while till people learn.
FD will get through, but they won't be happy about it. I can
Take off
promise
a whole
you.
door.
FD will get through.
I think we can probably do a better job of providing appropriate direction to code, because it seems like this is a discretionary issue. And I'll give you a perfect analogy, like from my point of view. Do you want the police concentrating on jaywalking or concentrating on narcotics trafficking?
Right.
And I
Right.
think when you look at the egregious style incidents that you guys are bringing up with 9, 10, 11, 12 cars, I can tell you today I got a complaint from a resident, provided the exact address when we drove by. Me, Andrew, and Adam all drove by the address. There was probably 9 to 10 cars parked on the property, and it was in Forest Park. And I want to say we were having that addressed. And I think instead of having code concentrate on those nuanced style fines of 1 car parking on, there needs to be some sort of leeway provided to exactly. And we need to kind of maybe reaffirm the training aspect of we need to concentrate on the egregious offenders and maybe not look at the small nuanced items there. And that's my responsibility.
Yeah.
So I'll work with Adam and code and try to give a little bit better direction on what the overall board wants.
No, it's all about education and education. I would rather see somebody going out there and when they're 6 inches over the sidewalk, just having a conversation and reminding them that they just need to be mindful of it. And, I think the biggest complaint that we hear, and I've gotten the emails and everything too, is all of a sudden, all of a sudden I'm getting fined, all of a sudden this has come to light. And instead of us being more just education-driven and proactive, we're quick to find someone who maybe we haven't done it in many years. And so I think we have to be very mindful of that when we're doing something. And I totally, it's the law and we have to provide ADA accessibility. And so we want to be mindful of that. But I think in instances like that, we carve out, more of an education and than just being quick to fine, as opposed to when you have 9, 10,
Yeah,
11
that's
cars, you
obvious.
have the egregious offenses where you can't even see the front yard because it's covered in junkyard cars. So that's my thought on that.
My question would also be is, we know that there's a certain time that these problems are happening. So if you're going to look for it on a Friday at 2 o'clock, maybe you did find one today. But that's pretty rare, because most of these properties, they're leaving at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. They're going to work. They're working until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So you're not seeing it. I get up and walk to the beach at 5 o'clock in the morning now. I'm obsessed with driving the neighborhood. But it's late at night and it's early morning that the real problems, and that's when the kids are going to school. And my biggest concern is going into the time change. So I hope that we can figure out that window of opportunity to be dealing with this stuff.
We have it figured out, Mayor.
Yeah, and I can also tell you guys that we've looked at the analytics, and you guys get your district reports from the police department, And we've migrated a lot of that stuff over to our Sages system now versus what we had previously in the past. So any sort of analytics or data that you guys need to request from code, you guys are welcome to do that and see whether or not these issues are being addressed. That way you can look, see whatever the addresses are, where they fall, and you'll have that data.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to thank, sorry. You wanna go?
No, I just wanted to say that I'd just like to make sure that it's evenly distributed among the entire city, which I'm sure it will be. But this is another opportunity that I see could be subjective to some degree. And I've already had some complaints about other areas that's also subjective. So we just need to stay on top of it, educate our citizens on what's coming, what are the do's and don'ts, and make sure that we don't use this as a tool as a gotcha type of thing. And so we just need to be careful, not careful, but responsive on how we move this ahead and roll it out. Those are my concerns.
All right.
Yes.
I did want to thank our city attorney for keeping us safe legally, because those are legitimate concerns. So thank you for
Yes.
bringing that up and making sure that we're safe in that way. And then, Dan, thank you for looking into that. And also, maybe along those lines, maybe implementing some sort of like a warning system for first-time offenders. And as mentioned earlier by Commissioner Kelly, focusing on the big offenders that are, the most egregious.
Right.
Agree.
Are we going to be posting on our social media, like our Facebook or things of that nature of like
Yeah,
what the changes are?
Yeah,
What does
we'll
it
put
mean for
together,
us?
code enforcement has recently did a, what not to do and what you're allowed to do, like diagrammically, graphically. So this is a very easy thing for them to do. They can show, how to park on the apron horizontally and those types of things. So we'll put something together and make sure that it gets out.
Thank
And
you so
also
much.
why,
Education. Everything.
that we do have a lot of people in wheelchairs or things like that, and that's why, because I think some people just don't know that. They just
Right.
think, hey, I'm just gonna park wherever I want.
my
Or the
yard.
school bus concern, or the public safety concern. So
Right.
if that can be part of the message, that would probably help a lot of us up here.
Agree.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anyone have any final comments for tonight?
Yes.
Oh, go for it.
So, I'm sorry, before,
Go ahead.
so we're going to bring this back, second reading with no changes as it is right now, okay? Okay, thank you.
I don't believe they approved it on first reading, so I believe we might need to bring it back on first reading.
I just want clarity on our next few meetings in the month of November, December. What are the exception differences, if any? So we will be meeting on the 4th, 11th, 18th, those for the commission
CRA
meeting
is
on
the
the
10th.
4th and 18th.
The CRA is the
18th and the
10th,
CRA is the 10th.
because Veterans Day is the 11th.
Yeah.
So the CRA meeting is moved to the 10th.
Yeah, so
Of
4th
November.
On the
and
10th.
18th are
Right.
city
Yeah,
and
so-
10th is CRA.
10th is CRA. And then the month of December,
Second.
we have the 2nd and the 16th.
So that's what I wanted to
won't
have a conversation about.
Okay.
Maybe consult, maybe, my position is maybe not doing a meeting on the 16th and moving agenda items up and forward for the meeting on the, what is that, the 2nd, as well as the first one in January, which I think is the 6th.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I will not be here on the 16th. I
don't-
did
don't
get
do
invited to
the
go
16th,
to
no.
Harvard, December. Yeah.
Fine.
Does that present a problem with staff?
Dan?
Dan?
And I believe that we tabled annexation to the meeting in the.
January.
Yeah, January 6th. So unless you guys want to move that one more meeting up.
No, I think
Not up.
December
Oh.
16th is fine.
Okay.
Do we need a motion or anything like that?
Well, I'm sorry, you're keeping that first meeting in January, or no?
Yes.
Yes.
You are? Okay, yeah. No, we don't need, you can do a consensus.
Yeah, I'm okay to forego and consolidate the items on the 16th with the meeting on the 2nd, or the
Right.
2nd,
Right.
and then the January 6th meeting.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay,
All right, may we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
move.
second.
We have a motion to adjourn the meeting, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. With no further business, meeting's adjourned at 8:40.
7:45.
7:45. I can't read my watch or anything right now.